Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander, and this is a brand new setup with 4 new playmats, 4 new decks. We've got Jensen Carthalion, 5 colors matter, Optimus Prime Autobots roll out, Unblockable Equipment, and Lili Tribal. Amusing thing about Lili Tribal is Lili is not the commander. There's only really the flip Lili that can be the commander, and most of the flip planeswalkers aren't necessarily all hard to get to flip, but they're not necessarily consistent with how things are going. It's tricky depending on which one of those planeswalkers it is. Some are easier than others. So I went with Ayara, Ayara, the first of Lockwing, because it's a 3-drop, relatively easy to get out. Plus, I like the effect of, when creatures that come in, people take damage. So that's the whole thing over there. But all the Lili Planeswalkers I had are in there. Plus, I actually got a couple extras. It's really, really a work in progress. I've played it with friends. I actually won a game with it, which is weird. But I still don't know what I want the deck to do, to be honest with you. So it's a weird one. I know I wanted to do the whole zombie thing, but I'm not really well versed in the whole recursion and using the graveyard properly, so that's going to be a real hurdle to get this one up and running to a decent level. Jensen is what I had, plus that Painbow Precon mixed in for the land base and some of the 5-color creatures that were in it. I actually pulled this out of the packs, and I'm a sucker for full arts. I didn't even know Painbow Precon was a thing at this point. I just saw that. I'm like, oh, I like the effects. I like what he does. I want to build around that. Then weeks later, I found out about Painbow and that it had a really good mana base for a Precon, especially with 5 colors. So I'm like, well, I should probably do that to help my deck a little bit. And I kind of spliced it with some legendary creatures I had. Autobots is very theme-oriented. It's going to be all about robots and humans. But the bulk of the creatures have to be robots and just a little bit of humans, the way any Transformers story should be. It's about the robots, it's not about the people. But the people all have abilities that, either help each other or, more importantly, help artifact creatures. And so everything else is an artifact creature. Then Unblockable Equipment. I've actually disassembled my other Unblockable deck that just wasn't working the way I wanted it to. And this one, so far with the playtesting, I love it. It needs a bunch of upgrades, but the idea is that the commander makes everything that has either power 1 toughness or has either 1 or 0 power or toughness. So if it's a 1/3 or a 3/1, it's unblockable. So the idea is to put everything that is a toughness of 1 or 0 in the deck, and then all of those equipments that seem useless, that are give creature +2/+0 or +1/+0 and some effect. Now that's super useful, because as long as the toughness stays at 1, it's unblockable, but I can buff the power as much as I can. And I've had some good luck with that one so far. It seems like it's going to work out really fun. So all of these are going to be very much work in progresses. I haven't bought cards for any of these decks yet, I don't think. There might be 1 or 2. I had to buy the Autobots after I pulled Optimus Prime, of course. But, that's really it. I bought 2 Lilis off of friends because they had trade binders, that sort of thing. There may be 1 or 2 cards in here and 1 or 2 cards in there. But there's a list of cards that I want to get for each of these eventually. But we're yapping too much. Let's get jumping into the magics. So we're going to roll our 4-sided dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it is 4. So Lili will be going first. Jumping over to the Lili side. We're going to draw for turn, play a swamp, tap said swamp for a Vampire Neonate. A 0/3, but I can pay 2 and tap it. Each opponent loses 1 life, and I gain a life over here. We'll then pass turn back over to 5 color. Draw for turn. Now, obviously, just like my other 5-color decks, this is going to be slow because everything's going to come in tapped. I will play Sunken Hollow, comes in tapped. I don't think there are any basics in here, or very few. So it's going to be, like I said, slow. Oh, wait, actually, obviously we're going to want him out first because he's only a 2-drop, which is fantastic. So we're going to put Canopy Vista. Let's play Smart Magic, right? Then we're going to pass to the Autobots. Draw for turn. I'm going to play Temple of Enlightenment. Comes in tapped, and I do get to scry one. Okay, Arcane Signet. I'm going to leave that on top. I think when I scry, I'm going to start talking to you guys, like tell you what I see to help you with how I'm doing this. We are way into, like, this is probably going to be like episode 26 or 27. Still not going to be aired until next year, 2023, because I like to stockpile my videos, but, hopefully I'm learning. I want to make these, I still want the sweet spot. I want these episodes to be like an hour and 15 maybe. I know that's never going to happen because I'm talking to you right now. I'm wasting time. But I really need to slow it down and pay attention to the board state. When I'm watching all those episodes I stockpiled before I put them to public, I'm catching so many misplays because I forget I have this on the board state, and I forget this is over there, and I forgot that's in the hand. And it's so frustrating because it makes me look dumber than I actually am in terms of Magic. So we're going to pass turn over here. Draw for turn. I'm going to play an island. I do not have a 1-drop that's viable, so we're going to pass. Turn 2, and I'm not going to be keeping track of turns, but play another swamp for turn. Tapping both for Fetid Imp. It's a 1/2 flyer that I can pay 1, and the Fetid Imp gains Death Touch until end of turn. So, get a little bit of flying damage, but in a pinch, you can pay 1 and jump block him in front of some big crazy creature and kill it with Death Touch. We're going to pass. I also have to work on less dead air. That's never, like, if it's just, you're going to, like, start wondering, did the video freeze? Because if I'm looking at my hand thinking, ooh, what do I want to do? I need to try and talk that out loud to help myself, but also so you guys know what's going on. Okay, so we're going to just play the Sandstep Citadel that I just drew, because that way, boom, next turn we'll have the blue or the green and the white necessary for Jareth. And that's all we could do here. We're going to pass. Untapping over here. Now, we're going to tap Temple of Enlightenment for a Soul Ring that we had in our opening hand. Tap that Soul Ring into the Arcane Signet that we just drew. Pretty sick. Then we're going to play a land for turn. Do any of these lands come in untapped? They do not. So we'll go ahead and play Rustvale Bridge. Artifact land it's indestructible, and it comes in. It's got the red and the white. This is the white and the blue. So we've got all the colors of Optimus Prime, but we still need, another land that, taps for them as well, so we could have a land of each color. Although we do, of course, have Arcane Signet, but we need, as you can see, that's on the wrong side because I was playing against some friends, or actually a friend in a episode from last year of Two-Headed Guess with Dell. So you've seen the Optimus Prime deck before. Okay, we're going to pass. Drawing for turn. Playing an island for turn. I'm going to tap 2 for Storm Chaser Drake. It's a 2/1 flyer. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell you control, draw a card. So that's great. Whenever I target it to put artifact equipments on it, I get to draw a card. So that's some good card draw. Just for clarification's sake, in case you're wondering, well, why didn't you play your commander? This way, when I play my commander next turn, Storm Chaser will no longer have a summoning sickness, and he can take advantage of the unblockable aspect and start swinging. Unblockable. Whereas if I played Tetsuko, Umezawa Fugitive, which is the commander over here, I don't believe I've said that yet. If I played him first, and I played a creature next turn, I still couldn't. I could attack with Tetsuko, because he is also a 1/3, or is a 1/3, which means that his effect applies to himself, or herself. What is that? I can't tell. I'm not sure if it's what it identifies as. And I didn't mean that in a sarcastic way. I meant that legitimately. I don't know. I haven't, nope, I don't think the flavor text says it. But I think this is the better play, because that way he can start swinging. And I'm going to say the dragon's a he. I don't care. pass turn. We're going to untap, draw, play a swamp for turn. I believe the smart move now is to tap all 3 for Yara. When a Yara, first of Lockwayne, or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Haha. Guys, I'm winning. 41 life, and you are going to 39, as are all of the rest of you. 39, 39, and 39. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right. Now we've got flying over here, but we got completely open here. I believe we're going to go send Fetid Imp. Doesn't really matter at this point. It's only 1 damage. We'll send it at Optimus Prime. Ah, you work for the Decepticons. I will remember that. But that's pretty much all we can do. So we're going to pass. 5 colors matters. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to play this Crumbling Necropolis that I just drew. We'll tap for green and white. Darn it, I just bought this stupid camera. To play Jensen. Carthalion Druid Exile. He is a 2/2. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, scry 1. If that spell was all 5 colors, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. Also, you can pay 5 and tap him to make 1 of every color. So you can, tap 5 red or 5 colorless and make Wooburg, as it were, so that, to cast a 5-colored spell. Let me give the camera a check. Everything looks okay. Everything still looks in the same frame. But that's all we can do. So we're going to pass Ola over here. And since this is, launching in 2023, I hope you all had a good holiday season. We are going to play Highland Lake. Comes in tapped. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I could play Optimus Prime on his robot side, but I'm going to tap 1, 2, 3 to play Foundry Inspector, which makes artifact spells cost 1 less, which means now I can play him as normal side for 1 less. Still have 2 mana open, and I'm going to go ahead and tap 2 mana to play Dolem Gate. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures you control. I'm not going to be attacking anytime soon, but that's eventually I hope that's going to be a big deal, because you can swing into people, and even if they do some sort of instant spell or a flash spell or whatever to block you, your guys can't be damaged. Now, obviously, that's going to be a big target right off the bat, and artifact removal will be sending at Dolem Gate, but honestly, that's also not a bad thing, because that, if you got to pick your battles, maybe they'll be destroying Dolem Gate with artifact removal instead of Optimus Prime or one of the artifact creatures I start playing. So let's go ahead and pass. Shall we? Untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to play an island for turn. Now, here comes a fun play. I'm going to tap 1 to play Curiosity, enchant creature, on the Storm Chaser Drake. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. But because I targeted a spell, it's my spell, I draw a card from that. Then I'm going to tap 2 to play my commander over here, Tetsuko Umezawa. So now all 4 commanders are, Optimus is last to the playground. But now, creatures I control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. Boom, toughness of 1. Flying Storm Drake is going to start swinging away. You know what? I think we're going to swing over here because you're the biggest board state. You've got, you're dinging at us already. Unblockable, 2 damage to you. Plus you gained a life, so you need to be knocked down a peg, my friend. So 39. We are then going to, that's all we can do. We did deal damage though, thanks to this enchantment we just put on. Pay attention, draw a card, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good, we don't have to discard down. We're gonna pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Swamp for turn. We got 4 mana to play with. I think hold on to that perhaps. Oh, this will work. Here we go. We're going to tap 2 to play Timeric, chosen from Death. His toughness is equal to your devotion to black, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's a 2/7. He is a legendary enchantment creature, demigod, but there's no devotion stuff onto it. So a black creature enter the battlefield. I gain a life, and everybody else is going to lose a life. 38 there, 37 there, and 37 there. Then I'm also going to tap 2 and tap Vampire Neonate. Each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Ha ha, I'm back to 41. Suck it, Unblockable. Don't you dare come at me. 37, 36, 36. But that is all we can... No. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We can do combat. Everyone does have creatures. You don't have flying. Well, no one has flying currently. This flying is tapped. So we're going to send Fented Imp. You know what? For your impudence, you're getting an imp. 1 damage. Now, that just made enemies. Let's be honest. If this was a real game, these two would be like, oh, really? You want to throw down? I do want to throw down. Well, let's throw down. It is thrown. And off we go. So these two over here being like, okay, let's just keep our heads down and let these two knuckleheads take each other out of the game. But we're going to go ahead and pass. Well, let me check. Wait a second. That's just sacrifice another thing. No other abilities. We're going to untap. Upkeep, draw. Now we will play another, we'll play Frontier Bivouac. Another 3-for. So we've got 3 mana. What can we do with 3 mana? We could do that. Or I think we still are at the ramping phase. I think we need to get ahead. So we're going to tap 1, 2, 3 for a Decanter of Endless Water. You have no maximum hand size, which is good. And you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. He can attack, but there's no real good options to attack into. So we're going to go ahead and pass. And that, of course, is a colorless spell. Doesn't trigger his ability in any way. Over here, untap, upkeep. Draw. Okay, let's see what we got. What have we got? That's what we probably want to do. I'm going to go ahead and tap for red, white, 1, 2, 3 to play Alibu Ancient Witness. It's a legendary artifact creature golem, 4/5. Other artifact creatures you control have haste, important. Oh, Foundry Inspector, so actually we don't have to pay that. It is only 4. So red, white, and then 1, 2. That's helpful. Whenever 1 or more artifact creatures you control attack, Alibu deals X damage to any target, and you scry X, where X is the number of tapped artifacts you control. Tapped artifacts, not artifact creatures, meaning, you know, Soul Ring would count in that number, or Arcane Signet, or whatever, all your mana rocks would count towards that number. So if you tap all your mana rocks, play a bunch of spells, swing with a couple creatures, now you're getting really good value, hitting someone, preferably in the face, or blowing up a dangerous creature, and scrying a long distance to like, oh, I'm just going to scry 5. Let me dig through and see what we got. I am then going to play Is It Boiler Works, bouncing the Highland Lake back to my hand. And we have 2 mana to deal with. That is, well, nope. Artifacts cost 1 less, but that is not an artifact. Okay. So, all in all, not a horrible play. We're still not moving fast enough. Should be getting Optimus Prime out faster, and I should be having a little bit more board state, I think. I mean, I know it's only turn like 4 or 5 somewhere, but it's a good board state, and there's stuff on the board, but it's only 2 creatures. This is an impressive creature, which means it's going to be a target along with Dolem Gate. But nobody's gotten any answers yet anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So we're going to go ahead and pass. Untap. Upkeep. I don't believe we have any upkeep triggers. We're going to draw. We're going to play a land for turn. Now here, sorry, it's like some of my cards. You ever get that where your cards are like at the top, like something happens and they start sliding up to the top of the sleeve? I don't like that. So we got 4 mana to play with. We need to start getting some creatures out to take advantage of their unblockable nature. I will tap 1/2 for Sage Row Savant. It's a 2/1. When Sage Row Savant enters the battlefield, scry 2. We're scrying into Kitesail Skirmisher and Kefnet's Monument. I like the Kefnet's Monument because its blue creature spells cost 1 less to cast. That's helpful. The Pirate, that's a good one. That's a 3/1 and flying. So we do. I think we're just going to leave both of those out, honestly, or leave them the way they are. Get the Kefnet first to make things cost less, and hopefully that's a good play. I only have 2 mana, so unfortunately I can't do anything else with the mana. But we're going to go to combat. I am going to swing the 2 damage at you. I'm going to send Tetsuko over Optimus's way because that's a big board state over there as well. Because now Optimus is going to come out and Optimus is going to have haste. Going to start doing some damage with artifacts. We don't like that. No, sir. I don't like it. All right. 2 unblockable damage to you, you jerk. Leave it that way. Stop gaining life back. It dealt damage, so I'm going to draw a card. But of course, damage does happen simultaneously, so this damage happens as well before I draw that card. We will go ahead and denote the 1 commander damage there. What did I draw? I drew the Kefnet's Monument. How stupid. Obviously, we scryed into that. But that's good. There's an interaction we need to take advantage of. Like, yes, we scryed, and we knew we were going to draw a card. So, I should have taken that into consideration more. But again, trying to go fast. But at least it didn't backfire on us. But that's all we can do. We're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. No upkeep triggers. We're going to play 1 more land for turn here. Or 1 more swamp, rather. Let's see. I've got, and there's the value. Yeah, that sounds good as well. We're going to tap 1, 2, 3 for Phyrexian Rager. Let's throw a Rager, boys. Down at the old abandoned mine. We got a 2/2. When Phyrexian Rager enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose a life. But there, of course, is a commander trigger. So it enters the battlefield. We're going to gain a life, and everyone's going to lose a life. Back up to 40, 36, 34, and 34. Now, we're going to lose a life back down to 39. I guess I could have, done that math originally, but it's good to work through it so everyone sees what's going on. Now we draw the card. Drawing Revenant, a flying spirit. Revenant's power and toughness are equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard, which would be nothing right now, so we don't want to cast that for sure. Okay, I got 2 mana left. I can't cast anything else, but the good thing is good old Vampire Neonite helps us keep going. So we're going to tap to gain a life. Back up to 40. Yo-yoing over here, but everyone else takes the damage down to 35 there, 33, and 33. Yara's doing some pretty good stuff, and we haven't even seen any lilies. And for flavor, there's also like every Lili card that I could think of that I had, all of her enchantments and sorceries and whatnot, where she's in the artwork, like Liliana's Mastery and Liliana's Standard Bearer. Like, she's not in the art for that, but it's her Standard Bearer or whatever. They're in here for the flavor. Hopefully they'll be able to stay when I start to mess with the deck. I don't want to tear it apart. And it's that constant struggle. You want these decks to be good. You want to upgrade them for, higher win rates, but you don't want to always do that at the cost of the fun of the deck, the flavor of the deck or the theme. Then if it ends up hardly being any Lili Planeswalkers and any Lili cards, then it's not Lili Tribal, is it? All right, but we're going to move to combat. We're going to send Flying Fented Imp at somebody, probably just over here again. Down to 32. And we're going to pass. The war rages on. Untap. As usual, the 5 color is doing the worst in terms of having anything on the field. But, you know, oh my gosh. It's so funny. I'm drawing and having all of the tricolor lands that, you know, come in tapped. So, Jungle Shrine comes in tapped. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What can I play that makes sense? You know what? I should really be playing this one. It's not like the fact that I've sat on this card since my opening hand is any kind of detriment because I haven't been getting any other legendary creatures yet. But we're going to tap for green, white, and black to cast Kethis, the Hidden Hand. It is a 3/4 legendary creature. Legendary spells cost 1 less to cast, so this will help get other creatures out once I start drawing them. Exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard until end of turn. Each legendary creature in your graveyard gains. You may play this card from your graveyard. So you sacrifice 2 of your legendary creatures out of the graveyard. Everybody else has, like, I don't know what the keyword is on that, but you get to just pay its mana cost again and play it from the graveyard. I played a multicolor spell, so I do get to scry 1. We are scrying into Joda, Archmage Eternal. I'm going to leave that on there because paying Wooburg lets you cast any spell. So I can draw like a huge, 9-10 mana spell, but with him on the field, I just have to pay Wooburg, and it comes out. So that's good. We're going to leave that there. I've got 2 mana left, and I do have a 2 mana spell, so we are going to play that. We're going to tap this for green, tap that, to play Fasik. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card, put it in the battlefield tapped. Does not say basic, so what we need to do is find ourselves a good land that, like, here we go, Prairie Stream says plains or island. Now, what is our colored mana base looking like, though? I think with the tri-lands, we kind of have everything covered at least once or twice, so it's probably not, there's nothing really, Yeah, everything's pretty well represented. So I think we'll just hit that one we saw, that Prairie Stream. And battlefield tapped, shuffle library. So that's good. We get a little bit of a ramp going there, some deck thinning, and some shuffling. All important things. But that is all we can do, so we're going to pass. Now let's see if the Autobots can get going. Replay the Highland Lake. Then we will do... Okay, so artifact spells do cost 1 less to cast. I want to cast some other stuff, but I think the smart play, of course, is Optimus first. So this is black, there's no black in this deck. Red and blue, tapping this for white. And then we need 2 more, tapping Soul Ring because it costs 1 less. Optimus Prime. He is a 4/8. He has more than meets the eye, which is you can pay that cost to play him in his vehicle mode first instead. He has, at the beginning of each end step, you bolster 1. Bolster is important. This is going to be a tricky part. I have to remember the way bolster works. It's not just throwing down counters where you want. It puts choose a creature with the least toughness and put a +1/+1 counter on it. When Optimus Prime dies, return it to the battlefield converted under its owner's control. That's really fun because that means it's hard to kill Optimus. You have to exile him or get him into his vehicle mode and blow up the vehicle mode. So if nothing else, it allows Optimus to stay on the battlefield a little bit longer than a normal commander might. Okay, we still have 2 mana left, and artifacts cost 1 less. So that is good enough. We're going to tap that for a blue to play Mobilized Mech. Oh, this is interesting. All right. So he is a vehicle. Now this deck has artifact creatures, vehicles, and humans. I still count them all as robots because vehicles, it ties into the Transformers theme beautifully. This is a 3/4 flyer artifact vehicle, meaning right now it's not a creature, it's just a artifact. But when it gets crewed, which is crew 3, it becomes a creature. Whenever a mobilized mech becomes crewed, up to one other target vehicle you control becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. I love this card because if I get another vehicle out, especially a really good one, all I gotta do is crew mobilizer mech. He auto crews a different mech. Not like his power doesn't, he doesn't tap to go crew it. It just becomes crewed basically. It becomes an actual artifact creature. So he's a great way to get, cost-effective vehicles going. But because it's crew 3 and artifact creatures you control have haste, I should be able to tap Foundry Inspector to crew him, 3/2. So now he's crewed. He is now an artifact creature with summoning sickness. However, they have haste, so he should be able to attack. Now, where do we want to send this? I think we want to go over there because, let's be honest, we are at 33 life already, all because of Lili Tribal. So we're going to roll out in her general direction. Now, some stuff's going to go on here. He's going to auto-crew something, but there is nothing else to crew. Alibu has his effect going. Whenever one or more artifact creatures I control attacks, they are. He deals X damage to any target, and you scry X, where X is the number of tapped artifacts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And, hang on. Nope, that's the artifact land over there. Darn it. But still, so we're talking 6. So if someone's taken 6 to the face, or a creature, and I get to scry 6. Now, I'm tempted to send the 6 damage straight to Lili Tribal's face but perhaps I should be blowing up a specific creature. I'm tempted, we could blow up Tetsuko, but they're not coming at us. So we can kind of let them go. I'm thinking one of these two right now is probably the better bet. Get rid of Ayara, or the vampire. She can replay Ayara. Excuse me, let me take a quick drink. Flapping my annoying mouth too much and my throat's getting scratchy. Neonate vampire can't come back. Well, there is recursion in this, but they do have 5, so they could just replay her and then, but they wouldn't be able to tap that. It's one of those things. It's still early. I don't see any creatures that are like, oh my god, get rid of it. I'm just gonna blow up the commander. I think that's probably a safe bet at this point. Force the recast, force all mana to be used. Then they can't do that tap either. And then I scry 6. So we've got Bonder's Ornament, Port Town, Peace Walker Colossus, good vehicle, Robe of Archmagi, which is good because you get to draw cards, Approach of the Second Sun, really fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last one is Drillworks Mole. I like that because you pay 2 and tap it, you put a +1/+1 counter on Drillworks and Commander. Let's see. Scrying, of course. You put them back in any order, basically. Peace Walker Colossus is good. It's a 6/6 vehicle. That would auto crew it, and it's only a 3. I think we definitely want to put that back on top. Followed by Drillworks. I say put the Bonder's Ornament, then Port Town, and then Approach of the Second Sun and Robe of the Magi. We'll do that. I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm forgetting how scrying works completely. I think I know I can put stuff on the bottom. So, you know what? Those cards there are fine. And theoretically, we're going to be able to scry again next turn. Unfortunately, we don't get to draw anything off of it. But all right. We have got a 4/5, a 4/8, and a 3/4 flyer coming at you. You do not have flying, so you're definitely taking that 3. And then you've got 4/8 and 4/5. Yes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so because we got rid of it, that was a good move because now this toughness has dropped down to 5. So it's only a 2/5 and a 2/2. They can't kill anybody even if they stack block. But nobody has trample, so I'm thinking smart move is to just chump block each. Let me recheck. Pay 2 to exile up to 2 target cards from your graveyard. You gain life for each creature card, or from graveyards, other people's. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go ahead and just chump block, bang bang. Move it. Ah, no. 40 life. Out. Oh my god. Let me check the camera. Yep, still okay. The joys of being unskilled and having a haphazard, rigging setup. Okay, so they got destroyed, but they will be taking the 3 damage from the flyer. Down to 37. Not as much damage as we would have liked, but at least it cleared their board state a bit and got them back under 40. There's no kind of draw abilities, no kind of after effects. We are good to go. Oh, and I do have Dolem Gate, so even if they did stack block with a high enough mana or high enough power to destroy somebody, it wouldn't have affected them. So we gotta keep aware of that. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. We're gonna play a land for turn. We're going to try and do what we thought, right? So we're going to tap 3 for Kefnet's Monument. Blue creature spells cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast a creature spell, target creature an opponent controls doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. That's good. And that means creatures... Okay, so we can cast this one. So 1/2 to cast Eternal of Harsh Truths. It is a 1/3. It has Afflict 2. Whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses 2 life. And whenever it attacks and isn't blocked, you draw a card. But it's a 1/3, so the goal of this one, so I won't really be able to equip it with anything, but it's still unblockable, so that means you're going to get the card draw. So that's really good. We got 2 different forms of good card draw, which is very important for pretty much any deck. Okay, so I did cast a creature, and target creature an opponent controls doesn't untap during their next untap step. You know what? I think this is probably... No, we know that can't be used. Well, it could be if they don't cast Agara again. That's always an option. Let's see. Whenever one or more artifact creatures you control attacks, so tapping that down is not really too much of an importance. Tapping the vehicle down could be good, but we don't know what kind of setup they have with that scry. So we don't know if more vehicles are coming or not. We can assume so, but, we don't want to waste the tap down. I think he's swinging over there. So we even want to get the Autobot's attention at this point. I think we're going to tap down that thing that's been pinging us this entire time, pinging everybody. So that kind of makes some goodwill about the board, Hey guys, we're not going to take damage from that thing for sure. We are going to go to combat. Swing a 2 over here. Now, we did already hit him for 1, so hitting him for 2. Now it's like, hey, it's only 2 commander, but you are coming at me. I don't like, that's going to, we could have just tapped them down because we're still going to get the Autobot's attention. But I think, as I've said before, you want to stick with commander damage. Although with 1 damage, it is kind of irrelevant. 1 shots every time. And I can't pump this up because then, it won't be unblockable. So they're kind of safe from commander damage. They do take a normal damage too, of course. So then we've got the 2 over here down to 35. So that's the first time you've been that low. And we get to draw a card. Boom, we draw Aeronaut's Wings. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has flying. Excellent, that's a good one, although it already has flying. But we can give the old Sage Row flying. And he should have attacked 2, I suppose. We're going to send that 2 over there. I know in a real game, you don't want to do it like that. If at this point, I didn't attack with that, you don't go back and say, oh, I'm also attacking you. It's like, that's shady. But because it's all me, it's okay. That's what we should have done. Pass turn. Untap. That does not untap. Upkeep, draw. I do not have any more lands, unfortunately. I guess smart move is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get a Yara back out. We gain a life, and everybody loses a life because a black creature entered. All right. We can send Vented Imp. No one has flying, so we're going to send it over there. Because, this is like a mini war between these two characters. There's no real point in, not following through. Passing turn over to 5-color. All right, we got a good mana base now. It's pretty late in the game, but we should be able to start going if, we can draw them. We did not. Fantastic. We're going to play Sunken Hollow. We don't have 2 more basics, so it comes in tapped. That could be interesting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, which would be 4 DM. That's not even super important right now, although that would help in the long run. Let's try something else, though. What we're going to do is we're going to tap green, white, and 1 other to play a Saga, Battle for Bretgard. We're on stage 1. We create a 1/1 human warrior token. I believe I have some tokens here that came with the old deck. There we go. Boom. Create a 1/1 white human crit. Then on the next turn, we do an elf, and then choose any number of artifact tokens or creature tokens you control with different names for each of them. Make a copy. So that's kind of cool. I do still have 4 mana. Let's see what we got. No, nothing I can do with 4 mana, regrettably. This was, however, a multicolor spell, so we scry 1. We got Iridan Maelstrom. Destroy each creature that isn't all colors. We don't even have any all color creatures yet, so unfortunately it's a fun card, but it's going to have to go on the bottom of the deck right now. And unfortunately, a 3/4 and a 2/2 really aren't going to do much in this game at this point. So we're going to pass. Untap. I'm liking that Autobots is starting to ramp up pretty well, but still a little slower than I would have liked. Okay, no new lands. Oh, of course, we know what that was, right? 1, 2, 3 to play our Peace Walker Coliseum. This is going to start getting nasty. And we actually almost have a better one in hand as well from prior draws. Blue plus 1 other and a white. So blue, white, and 1 other because it costs 1 less. Shorikai Genesis Engine. It is an 8/8 vehicle, so it's better than the 6/6. I can pay 1 and tap it, draw 2 cards, then discard a card to create a 1/1 colorless pilot. Creature token that says this creature can crew vehicles as though its power were 2. Weird. You'd think maybe, why didn't they just make it a 2/1 pilot or a 2/2? I guess 2/2 would be too powerful for the ability, but I get it. It's a 1/1 in terms of blocking and attacking, but it can crew as though it was a 2. It's okay, fine. But still a little awkward by my humble standards. And then, of course, as I said, we've got our Peace Walker, which is a 6/6 that has the crew 4. This one's crew 8, which is another thing that's why it's good, though, because, not why it's good, but it's fun because, yeah, it's huge. You're probably not going to be able to crew it when it comes out, but that's why, you tap it, and pay into it to start making pilots that, A, you've got a nice little army of people that can block and attack, or you can make 4 little pilots and then they tap all 4 of those guys and they crew him. Our Peace Walker, of course, is pay a white and another vehicle you control becomes an artifact creature until end turn. Oh my gosh. Ba-ba-boom. This is going to be sick. I love it. All right. Thank you, Alibu. We're going to start kicking some booty. Well, first of all, we do still have 2 mana. Unfortunately, this is not an artifact, so it doesn't cost less. All right, let's move this down. Let's kind of clean up a bit. All right, we are going to move to combat. And we are going to... Oh, right, we wouldn't have wanted to use those mana. Duh. Thank goodness I didn't have anything I could play. See, getting ahead of myself. So, at our end of our main phase, because apparently this is critical. This is important with crewing. You have to crew before you go to combat. You cannot crew during combat. Possibly at the beginning of combat, I think, but it's a very iffy thing. There was like... I'm sure those of you that actually know Magic, you heard about there was multiple, high-level tournaments that people lost because they did that, and it's like they lost tens of thousands of dollars. It was horrible. Well, I say horrible, in the loosest sense. They were winning money playing a Magic game, but, they weren't like, running into a burning building or something. So, tapping Foundry Inspector to crew Mobilizer Mech. Mobilizer Mech auto-crews Shiraki Genesis Engine. We're going to tap white and one other to crew, or I'm sorry, you know what, we kind of have to do it the other way. Mobilizer Mech will auto-crew Peace Walker, and then we're going to tap white and one other to another vehicle becomes crewed Shiraki Genesis Engine. So they kind of cascade into each other, not actual Magic cascade. But thanks to Alibu, they become creatures and gain haste. And then, of course, Alibu and Optimus. Oh my gosh. Ugh. See, I totally forgot the damn bolstering this entire time. Damn it. Ugh. Misplay right off the bat. Just drives me insane. I mean, it's my game. It's fine. I can, rewind it enough. And I think Optimus has been out because Optimus attacked, which means Optimus has been out for 2 rounds, so that's 8 bolsters. Obviously, these guys don't get it because whenever it's end step, they're not creatures, so it's really just these 2 that are going to be getting a ton of counters. And well, it does say that he would eventually, well, they would have to match 8, blah, blah. All right, let's rewind the stupidity. Let's get some dice. So when I played Optimus Prime and he had Summoning Sickness, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 instances of bolster, which I don't even think he was out yet. He wasn't out yet. Oh, no, he was because, okay, so that's the point. I played him first so that I could play Optimus, and Optimus would have haste. And then I think I was even able to play this. So I guess this was just one instance of the round table. So at least that's only 4. So obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So 3 instances of bolster go on there. Now they're both 5/5s in terms of toughness. The 4th bolster, I think I get to choose at this point. So I would put it on him because we keep using that to crew. Okay. Not as horrible as it could have been, but in a real game with real people and friends, they wouldn't let you we'll go ahead and put all those counters on. No, you missed it. It's your responsibility to manage your triggers. It's one thing if it's like, oh crap, guys, I forgot. Let me just bolster. Okay, fine. But the entire way around, that's unacceptable. So to that end, I guess I should punish myself and not put those on right now. You know what? That's what we're going to do. I screwed up. We're not going to allow the take back. I missed my triggers, so now, hopefully, we remember. So back to the game at hand. We've got a 4/5, a 4/8, a 3/4, a 6/6, and an 8/8. All raring to go. Though none of them have trample, this does have flying. All right, again, we are still pretty low thanks to Lili. Starts raising questions at this point. Do we with that many creatures that are pretty good, do we want to start swinging them at everybody, or do we want to swing all of it at her, taking her almost completely out? And then we're like, do we get 1, 2, 3, or get everybody down to lower levels? Again, we're seeing no interactions, no removals, which these decks should have. I put removal and answers in each of my decks. You know, not 20, obviously, but I mean, probably like 5 to 10. But out of 99 cards, that is a low chance of seeing them. But there should be more. Someone should have blown up Alibu and or Optimus Prime by now. Or countered one of these spells, you know. But all right, so I think we're just gonna, we slowed things down enough with my little screw up rant. So we're just gonna swing everything at Lili. She's only got one blocker. It's her commander. I don't think at this point it's worth blocking anything. You know, she's got a 2/3. Everything will kill it. So 8 and 2 makes 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 25 damage. Well, the thing is, we don't have enough mana to recast her over there. So the smart move would, of course, be to block the highest damage, the 8/8. But then we can't get Ayara back on the field anytime soon. There is like a targeted exile spell in there, so we can exile Alibu on that turn. But then we'll get hit by everybody else. But yeah, why not? I mean, it makes sense. We will block the 8/8 with Ayara. It now costs 4 extra to play her, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. But we're taking 10, 14, 16, 17, 18. So 18 damage. 10 damage down to 26. And then what did I just say? 17? Yes. So 19. Not good. Also, I did miss a on attack trigger because I freaked myself out because of Optimus. Whenever the one or more things happens, X damage and scrying X. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 damage to something and scrying 9 cards. Now again, yeah, I think it's just at this point, you just send the 9 damage over here. Make yourself easy. Now you're down to 10, and we're going to scry 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Real quick, what do we got? We got the Drillworks Mold, the Bonder's Ornament, the Port Town, Approach of the Second Sun. We got the Archmage. We got Arch of Rosara, Siege Veteran. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1. That's definitely going to be up. RC, which is cool. Karn's Bastion, Proliferate. That'll be good too because of, you know, if we actually use Optimus this time, we'll have counters on some stuff. Drillworks. I still say Bonder's Ornament and Port Town for right now, but we will go ahead and send the rest of these to the bottom. If we make it around again, we can, well, we know what's going to happen, but I think this is probably the order we're going to want. We'll do that. Okay, there's no other combat end step triggers. All that damage happens. We're going to move to our end step, and oh, hey, look! The whole freaking reason of the damn deck. Bolster. Stupid son of a freaking pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Island for turn. I will tap 2 to play Aeronaut's Wings, tapping 2 to equip it to Sage Rose Savant. I have 2 extra mana. Unfortunately, that is not enough to cast anything else in my hand. Time to go to combat. Let's see, they're at 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Certainly not enough to kill. And so now we gotta start wondering, that's a threat, that's a big deal. I'm tempted to send all of it that way. However, by not lowering, like now that's like, well, you know what? The Autobots can then start swinging over here, and I'm gonna let him go ahead and ping you to death. So we start to get into one of those quandaries where it's like, well, wait a second now. Do you always shift targets to whoever's the threat, or do you follow through in what's been going on? You could just continue to attack him to kill Lili first, but being in one of those situations, I think many of you may agree with this, is that killing one person off really fast can be a dick move, because now they're going to sit there just shuffling their deck and waiting for a new game while you 3 continue on for the next half hour to finish your game. That's not fun. That's not cool. And yes, they've been pinging us, but that smack more than made up for the damage that was done. So I think we do shift gears. I think we send everybody at Optimus Prime, which, as I said, is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. One of it is going to be Commander, and then 1 down to 30, 6 down to 24. Right? We also have, I did not cast the creature spell, so didn't do that kind of tappiness. These 2 did damage, so that I draw 2 cards off of those. Okay. All right, nothing else I can do there. Pass turn. Draw for turn. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Settle the score. We're going to exile yon douchebag. Hang on, end step. Freaking stupid bolster. So that could... So do we go for Alabaster, Alaboo, or probably Optimus Prime? I think the smart move is just Optimus Prime, because... especially now that I've made everyone aware that I forgot about the bolstering and how much that would do, it's quite clearly the target that needs to be taken care of. And it's exile target creature. All of the vehicles are no longer creatures, so I can't get rid of the 8/8, which is really a fun aspect of vehicles. It helps to keep them also hard to get rid of. So unless someone's instant speeding on your combat step when they are creatures, they have to have specifically artifact removal. Regrettably, I don't have enough mana to do anything else. I do not have any 1-drops. Oh, I do, actually. Look at that. I'll play Archfiend Vessel. It's a 1/1 with lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard, which it didn't, or you cast it from your graveyard, we didn't, you exile it. If you do, create a 5/5 demon token. So it's just a 1/1 with lifelink, but at least I got to cast something else. We're going to pass. Back to the multicolors. Okay. All right, this is tipping over to the second phase. Where are the little elf jerks? See, I don't have one. That's so weird. Should have come with the thing. So we're just going to say that human's an elf. A draw card. What kind of lanes do we have? I'll play Crows and Verge. Comes in tapped. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Guess what? I drew that stupid ass land, so I don't have anything good to play. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 5. Okay. But it's a sorcery. I'm looking at Lavalanche. I pay a black, green, and a red, and then X, and deal X damage to target player or planeswalker, and each creature that player or planeswalker controller controls. Wow. It's not worded very well, but the point is, you blast someone in the face for X, and then all of their creatures also take X damage. So I can currently hit someone in the face for 5, dealing 5 damage to all of their creatures. However, that really only destroys their creatures. It's not going to hurt over here, because the only creatures, I mean, it's a 4/4 and a 4/5, so it would blow up those two things, which is probably a good play, actually, because that Foundry Inspector negates one of the commander attacks off of Optimus Prime, and we do have a lot of mana, so recasting him wouldn't be that bad, and he would have haste. So yeah, I guess that's probably your best bet. So a green, a red, a black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to play Lavalanche for 5, targeting you. You're going to take 5 damage, and all of your creatures are going to take 5 damage. Oh, down to 19. So Optimus is not looking that great, so these two blow up. Of course, right when I started actually putting the bolsters on somebody. And so now it's going to be interesting, because we're going to have to figure out a way to start crewing. Because if we can't crew him, all we can do is pay 1 to crew the 8/8. Or pay a white and 1 off of that. So we'll kind of lose that whole ripple effect. And he is open, so we could in fact attack with our 3/4 and 2/2. And we have chump blockers. So you know what? Might as well go for broke over there. Although he is also open, and he's at 30 life. We've got 10, 19, 32, and 30. I think at this point we might actually just swing, 5 damage in your direction just for good measure. Get you down to 25. We're going to make enemies across the board here, but I think that's kind of what we got to do, because we don't want anyone to get too far out of range. There's nothing else, so we're going to go ahead and pass turn. And hope to heck we draw a creature that we can play that has a power of 3. We do not, because of course we know what we had. But that still might work. Maybe, probably not. Hang on, I don't know if we have enough mana to do everything, though. That's the problem. Okay, so we kind of need those to use his ability, right? So that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to play both of them. Not enough. Now let's check out Optimus Prime. He is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we do have enough to recast him. And he could crew it. That's actually, although I did forget technically. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could, play both of these, as a matter of fact. But they don't have haste anymore. Oh, but okay. You know what? I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna tap 2 floating, right? 2 colorless floating. Blue, red, colorless floating to play Skilled Animator. He is a 1/3. When Skilled Animator enters the battlefield, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness 5/5 for as long as Skilled Animator remains on the battlefield. Hey guys, Dolem Gate is now a 5/5 creature as well. I'm then going to tap 1 white and the other floating to play Siege Veteran. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever another non-token soldier you control dies, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. Okay. That's cool. All right. Now, we are going to tap both of them to crew Mobilizer Mech. Mobilizer Mech is going to crew, auto crew, or assist crew, however you want to call it, Peace Walker Colossus. We're going to tap a white and one other to use Peace Walker's ability to auto accrue Shorkai Genesis Engine. Dolem Gate is a 5/5 as well. Here, let's put this on here so we know he's a 5/5. And then we're going to move to combat. So technically they are in, because we're doing that on our main phase 1, then at the beginning of combat, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So we could put a counter on any one of these, and it would stay when they revert back to artifact. It would just, not be active, sort of, I think, the way that works. It would be an artifact with a +1/+1 counter on it, but it couldn't attack or block or do anything with it. But once it becomes a creature again, that 1/1 counter is live again. So we could do that if we wanted to. And I think we might. I think that's what we're going to do, because we're going to want to beef up the flyer. So now that is a 4/5. All right, now that is 10 over there. He just hit us for quite a bit. Unfortunately, he does in fact have chump blockers. But he has quite a bit of blockers as well. That does not, and he sent some damage over our way as well. What do we have on the field, eh? We've got, what is this? 4, 6, so 10, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So that's 23 damage. Oh, so close that we could actually just flat out kill Unblockable. And then, of course, we could, but we can't kill him. Only one creature would get through here, the flyer. And it would just, over here, the flyer and the Dolem Gate would get through for 9 damage. Not bad. And he is at 32. He sent that there. So it's one of those things where it's like, at this point, this is the threat. 32 versus a bunch of low numbers. I think we want to send it this way. I think everybody is going to want to swing out in 5 colors direction. Please let me know in the comments if this whole putting a dice, a counter on the vehicle doesn't work like that. Like if the counter falls off when it stops being a vehicle, let me know. So I can learn from that and not do it the wrong way again. But yeah, so we're sending all that damage your way. As I said, the elf and the human are going to block the Peacemaker, Peace Walker, and the whatever. And then you're going to take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So down to 23. But you lost your little guys, so when that thing ticks, it's not going to be able to make any copies, so that's good. We are completely defenseless over here and at 19 health, so not good. And everyone sees we've got quite a bit of damage on board at any given time. But we're going to pass turn. This could be the time when you start making deals with people, like Unblockable could be like, yo, Transformers, let me help out with 5 color and you don't come at me for like 2 turns or something. Obviously, I'm not going to bargain with myself. Okay, so first of all, we don't have any upkeep triggers. I'm going to draw for turn. I'm going to play a land. Blue creatures cost 1 less. So 1, 2, 3 to play Kite Sail Skirmisher. It's a 3/1 with flying. When it attacks another target creature attacking the same player or planeswalker, gets flying until end of turn. Whenever I cast a creature spell, target creature opponent controls does not untap. Dun, dun, dun. I think we're going to say That thing doesn't untap. Although, is it still a creature at this moment? It is not, because once it's not... Because once he ended the turn, it's no longer crewed, so it becomes just an artifact. I could have, like, if I flashed something in during his turn, that might have worked. But I don't think we got any real targets over there anymore. We could target one of these so that they can't crew him. But, you know, we can count from here. He has enough to just cast Optimus, and Optimus can crew it. So that's not going to do too much to help. I think we're going to go ahead and just tap down this bad boy. So, because that was what came over our way. We still have 4 mana. We're going to tap 3 to play Catalog. Draw 2 and then discard a card. Okay, totally discarding a land at this point. Fortunately, I only have 1 mana left. And I have a... Wait. Blue creatures cost 1 less. Perfect. Tapping the blue to play Towering Wave Mystic. When it deals damage, target player puts that many cards from the top of their library into the graveyard. So that's, you know, it would only be 2, but we can... We have not seen any equipments, which sucks, but in the real deck, you know, when I start to get those equipments and filter them into the deck, ideally he could be a lot tougher when it hits somebody. So, all right. Oh, but I cast a creature, so Kefnet's Monument triggers again. Yeah, I think we're going to tap this down as well now because we want to entice people to go in that direction. You know, because that's still, that's 23, we're 25. We're kind of like going to be a target again if people are going off of life totals. So we are going to swing de Bordeaux. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Swinging there is tempting, but we didn't tap any of his stuff down. Swinging over there could be helpful, because then we could finish that off on our turn for sure, and he can't crack back at us. And we're unblockable, so it's almost guaranteed that we could get through it with 3 damage afterwards. I think that's going to be our goal. I think we're going to send the 7 damage in this direction this time, knocking you down to 3. Drawing 2 cards off of our abilities over here in the hopes that we kind of give the illusion that, yo, we're taking care of this. Yo, you take care of that, Optimus. Kind of buying ourselves some time over here. No end steps, so we're going to go ahead and pass. Poor Lili is kind of just screwed outright. There's nothing she can do at this point. I did not draw any lands. Well, this is not good. Oh, yeah. This is kind of funny. I'm almost tempted to do this. And it's not. It's a stupid move. Like, I mean stupid. I'm going to do it. You know what? In a real game, I know players that might do this, and I think I would definitely do this because I'd be frustrated. You know, I wasn't that crazy of a thing, and suddenly I'm just getting knocked by everybody. So it's like, you know what? I'm going out on my own terms. Tapping 3. Ambitious cost. I'm going to draw 3 cards and take 3 damage. Boom, I killed myself. Suck it. Nobody gets to kill me but me. So there you go. Lili Tribal is out of the picture. Everyone's laughing. Maybe. And then pass turn. Well, not pass turn, just off it goes. Okay, untap. Oh, these do not untap. Upkeep trigger, this goes down here. Any number of artifact tokens and our creature tokens, we don't have them, so that just goes away. And we draw for turn. Gonna play just a flat out swamp for turn. Blue, red, green, and then 2 others to play. Surak, Dragonclaw. It's a 6/6 with flash. This spell can't be countered. Creature spells you control can't be countered. Cool, and a 6/6 is not bad. That's gonna some good defense at least. But that's all we can do, so we'll pass. It's coming down to the Autobots. They're, you know, they have the best potential to be in control and win this one. So let's see. And we are top decking, so we're gonna draw. Ah, yes, it's just the Karn's Bastion we set up from before. But we can't take advantage of that because if we do, we can't play Optimus. Although, at this point, it might not be a concern. Yeah, you know what? That's the key. I think that's how we do this. We're going to be like, okay, I am going to, in my main phase, I'm going to tap both of these to crew this. This is going to auto-accrue that. I'm going to tap white in one other to use his ability to... Wait, where the heck did it go? Oh, it's way down here. Sorry, this crews that. Use the mana to use that ability to crew that. That's still a creature. We're going to move to combat. At the beginning of combat, we're going to put a +1/+1 counter on something. I guess we'll go ahead and put... Now, let's see. Yes, I think we should spread it out because of what we're going to do. So we'll put it here. Then, in response to... at the beginning of combat, I'm going to... I believe I can do this at instant speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to tap Karn's Bastion to proliferate. So... wait a second. Wrong one. This is not counters. That is just a 5/5. So only these get counters, but they go up. The point being, we then declare attackers and swing them all your way, because that's 5. 3, 4, 5. So 10, 18, 19, 20, 26. You have 25. Wachum! You have no open mana. There's no surprises. You're dead. Bash. All right. Autobots are doing pretty solid considering. Pass turn to multicolor. They're going to untap finally. Tap all of the mana. Draw for turn. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and... we'll play it just because. Oh, I forgot. Shoot. Well... Okay, I forgot because I did play Surak. I should have scryed. It's Sultai Charm, destroy target monocolor creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. So you know what? That's a good card. We would have left that anyway. So we draw that. I'm going to tap green, black, blue to play... I'm going to then... We're going to float that mana. I'm going to play Dimir Aqueduct, bouncing the swamp back to my hand, but using those 3 colors to play Sultai Charm. We're going to destroy target artifact. Now, what is the best artifact to destroy? I'm assuming we're just going to want to go with the Genesis Engine, because it's still currently the highest damage on the board, although actually that's an 8/8 as well. And that can crew other things. But we don't have any cards in hand, and Optimus isn't a vehicle, so he is. But you know what I'm saying? I think we don't want to overthink this. It's already probably like an hour and a half video, so let's go ahead and just say that's what we do. We blow that up. He is tapped out, and he's at 19 life. But Surak does not have haste. Wait. That was last turn. So he can attack. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Also, that cost 1 less, but we had more than enough mana, so it's fine. 11 damage. It wouldn't kill him, and then we'd be wide open and we die. So the smart move is to just hang back and see what we can do. Pass turn. Untap. Upkeep, draw. Right, the drill works mole. So let's see what we got here. We need blue, red, and white. Then 1, 2, and 3. Then 4, 5 to recast Optimus Prime. $19. That only leaves us with 1 mana, so we can tap and cast Drill Works Mole. What sucks is Drillworks will get the first bolster, And I don't know that this is really going to be too much, but we've got a 5/5, 6. Now here's the fun part. The Dolem Gate prevents all combat damage that will be dealt to attacking creatures I control. So even if he blocks properly, none of my stuff's going to die. But his will. So that's what we want. We're going to go ahead and at the end of my main phase, we're going to do those to crew that, which auto crews this. We are then going to move to combat and declare attackers. Move to beginning of combat, we're going to put a +1/+1 on target creature I control. Bumping the stupid camera. And then declaring all 3 going at you. That is now a 6/6, an 8/8, and a 5/5. Like I said, I mean, doesn't really matter what we do. Oh my gosh, I forgot to scry off of the Sultai chart. Chromanticore, it's a 4/4 flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, lifelink. Enchant creature gets those things. That's not bad. I don't know that we're going to have anything to do with it, though. I mean, we'll leave it. It's not... We're going to die here. So, it's 3-on-3. But we're at 23 life. They're at 19. I think we block the 8/8 with Surak. And then the 6/6 with Kethis. They both die, of course. And then 5 gets through, putting us at 18. We're going to move to our end step. Optimus is going to trigger and he's going to bolster. He is going to, we don't need that anymore, so he's going to bolster the 1/1 mole thing. That is a 2/2. We go to our end step. They are no longer creatures. I really hope those counters don't fall off. I don't think they do. I think you can put, I know there's cards that even say put counters on things that aren't creatures. So I think that's a viable thing. I'm probably going to have to really try and remember to look this up afterwards because that is kind of important, especially for that deck. But there's nothing else. We pass. We untap. We bump the camera. We draw. We have the Chromanticore. Black, blue, red, white, green. We play Chromanticore. It's a 5 colors, so we make first one of the game. Oh my friggin', will you just give me one of the stupid there? We make a 4/4 angel, and we scry 1. Supreme Verdict, destroy all creatures. That's really good if we make it that long. That could be helpful. Although, well, but okay, whatever. He's not tapped out. He has Optimus and a Mole to block with. And really only this can attack anyway, so we're going to have to pass. Untap, upkeep. Draw. It's the Bonder's Ornament we already placed out. 1, 2, 3, boom, Bonder's Ornament. I'm going to go ahead and tap Soul Ring. Well, I wanted to use his ability, but let's see. Assuming that works, he's got 3, that's got 3, but the 4 would get through, and then that would be 5, 6. Is that super important right now? I don't think it is. It may be. I may be wrong. We're going to tap 2. I know he's going to destroy creatures, but we don't know that. So we're going to tap 2 and tap it to put a counter on the Drill Works, which then puts a counter on our commander, Mr. Optimus Prime, making him a 5/8. We're going to go ahead and tap these 2 at the end of our main phase to crew him, to crew that, Well, no, this is the crew that. Oh, and he auto-accrues this. Right. Then at the beginning of our combat, we're going to put a +1/+1 counter on something. So that's a 5, that's a 5, that's a 6, and that's an 8. I think we're going to put that on Optimus. And then we're going to go to combat declaring, or we're going to declare attackers. All 4 coming at you. So now it's a 6, 6, 8, 5. Shoot, I guess I should have put the... Well, still would have been a 5 either way. Okay. Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink. Ah, the Lifelink could play a role here. Again, thanks to Dolem Gate, we don't have to worry about how he blocks. You know, biggest thing is going to take the Angel, so the 8/8. The Chromatic Core with the Lifelink is going to block Optimus, which gains us 4 life. And then 6, 5, so 11 damage is going to go through, but he's gaining 4, so it's basically going to do 7 damage, right? So 18 down to 11. They're still creatures. We're going to move to our end step. It still doesn't even matter. The bolster will go onto the Drillworks mole. And unfortunately, man, he's going to freaking Supreme Verdict. This sucks, but nothing we can do about it because we don't know about it. Draw the card. Do the thing. Blue, white, one other, white. Supreme Verdict! Autobot scum! So we did cast a multicolored spell. So we still get to scry. That is a land. We're going to dump that for sure. And then everything blows up. This is the first time Jensen's been destroyed, so that's only 2 extra. So that's good. All of this blows up. Bummer. These are not creatures, though. Aha! So that's good, at least. But unfortunately, Optimus does get blown up. And now he costs 4 more to cast. But we still might have it. Sort of. It's, well, we need to figure out somebody to crew somebody. Well, he could crew, I guess. But he's a creature, as long as he was on the field. So the Dolem Gate does get destroyed as well. Okay. So that affects things. All right, but Supreme Verdict, pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Okay, well, Port Town, I forgot we stacked it that way. All right, let's see what we got mana-wise. We probably have enough to recap. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Optimus is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just enough. I mean, we could, of course, cast it for his other side, which is 1 less. But still would have the summoning sickness, or the commander tax. So, okay. We're going to tap out everything. Recast Optimus. And thankfully he is a 4, so Optimus is going to tap the crew mobilizer mech, which auto-crews Peace Walker. For those of you that may not understand, Optimus Prime does have summoning sickness, so he can't tap to use any abilities he might have if he had a tap, draw a card kind of thing, and he can't attack. However, he's not tapping, it's the crew ability that is tapping it, so that kind of circumvents that, so summoning sickness creatures can crew vehicles, thankfully. So that's a really nice effect of vehicles. Again, if I'm actually wrong about that, please let me know, but I'm quite certain that's how that works. So then we're going to go ahead and move to combat. 8, 8, and a... So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's enough. Kaboom! Valiant effort, 5 colors, but you can't stand against the Autobots. Dead. And your winner of match 1, 5-color Lili Tribal Unblockable Equipment and Autobots are the Autobots. All right, that was cool. That was a fun game, I think. For me, it was. I enjoyed how that worked out. That deck does a lot better, especially when play testing on like Moxfield, because I have better equipments in it and more of them. I only had a handful of equipments that only buff the front, so that's one of the reasons why that wasn't doing too well of a showing. I told you Lili did quite well considering. Again, there's no real win con in that. The idea is that most Lili Planeswalkers, although not really, I thought most Lili Planeswalkers made zombies. So the idea was get some Planeswalkers out, make zombies, Ayara's ability triggers, everyone's taking damage, and I have a little small army, and then throw things into the graveyard, get them back onto the field, and make more zombies or do things and more creatures come in, more damage, that kind of thing. But it's going to take a long time to figure that out, right? And this is just, it needs a lot of work. Two of my friends, of course, have already made 5-color decks, and they're already like turn 4 wins, so it's like, why do I even bother? But I still like Jensen, and I still want to keep it and just tweak it a little bit. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you saw some cards you want to put in your decks, maybe a commander. If you think you make some suggestions on how to make my decks better, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Cards you think I should put in the decks, things like that. Would you play something differently? Would you have done different moves? If you don't mind, please check out some of my other videos. I have other shows on the channel breaking down the decks and showing how they can possibly win at their absolute fastest, all kinds of different stuff. So check that out, and I will see you next time.